So hello, welcome to our new show. It's called the Most
Hey,
Hmm?
good evening.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that. Um,
Well, we're all new to this, so
I
whatever.
know.
Let's go.
So welcome to our new show. It's called the Most Dangerous Podcast, and we're going to be discussing dangerous
The
things.
world's most dangerous, isn't it?
No, it's just the most dangerous.
I thought we were calling it the world's.
I think I think someone else is called. There's the world's most dangerous podcast. So I don't know
Yeah,
if
but
I want
ours
to.
has got to be the world. I mean, like the world. It's surely the world's most dangerous. That's more interesting than just
Yeah, but there's
the most
bigger
dangerous.
places in the world. Ours is the most
What's
dangerous.
bigger than the world? What?
The universe, galaxies.
So we could call it the universe most dangerous podcast.
We could do, yeah, yeah. Um, so we've got some subjects to talk about. We've got Mount Everest, which we'll cover tonight. We've got fish. Was one of your ideas there, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll do fish.
Fish, yeah.
I'll do
Dance.
fish.
You'll do
Dance.
fish, right?
You're
A
doing
dance.
dance. The world's most
A
dangerous
dance.
dance. I'm
There's a
interested in
dance
it.
that can actually kill you. Yes.
No, there's not. Don't tell lies. What? I'm intrigued about the dance. Are we really? There's really a dance that can kill
Yeah.
you.
There's a dance so dangerous it can actually kill you.
Anyway, that's coming up, I suppose. But
That's
anyway,
coming up.
today.
Yeah. So today we're going to look at Mount Everest, which is not actually the most dangerous mountain in the world. There's one called Annapurna nearby that
Oh
claims
yeah. Whoa. Hang on. So we're doing like the world, or not the world, the most dangerous podcast, and your first choice is not the most dangerous mountain.
that is true, but it's not the most dangerous percentage wise,
Well,
but it's the most
surely
dangerous because
this
the
this
most
should
people
be this
die
should
in
be a
it.
launching pad of
A
like the
launching
most
pad.
dangerous shit going,
Start
right?
as you mean to go on. Start with
Exactly,
the.
and then you've picked the second most
I think
dangerous.
it. No, I think it's actually the fourth or fifth.
But
Um,
really, so it's
yes,
not even up there. It's not even in like we're
it's not in the
talking
top three.
Europa League level.
So yeah, so basically, although Everest doesn't have the highest percentage of deaths, it's got the most deaths each year because the most people try and climb it, and it, to me, that makes it the most dangerous.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Um,
I'm listening.
okay, so Everest is obviously the tallest mountain in the world. I think most people know that. You learn that at school. At a height of 8,848 meters or 26,000 feet, roughly. So when you think you're in an airplane at 38,000 feet, Everest is kind of three-quarters of the way
So,
there.
so how tall is it again? Sorry.
8,848 meters.
And what's the average height of a plane when you're flying to, or like when you're in an aircraft? Did you
About
say?
12,000 meters.
So it's 8,000.
Yeah,
So
so
what's
you're
that?
two-thirds, three-quarters of the way there.
Wow, that's incredible.
Um,
That's huge, isn't it? That's massive.
it's huge, yeah. It was named Mount Everest after Sir George Everest, who was a British surveyor general in India. And George never actually wanted the peak to be in his name because he had nothing to do with its discovery, but they did it anyway.
Yeah, well, he didn't though, did he? Because you don't discover a mountain; it's just there.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it. I think it had been there a lot longer than him.
it's like
So
I claim this mountain to be mine. It's
yeah,
like there's like some dudes who are just like who've been there for thousands of years, calling it like I don't know, Big Peak or whatever. And then this British dude comes along and says, "I'm George Everest. I'm going to call this Everest."
yeah. So basically, he was the first guy to decide it was going to be called that. Well, it wasn't George. It was.
What
It wasn't George. It
was
was.
it? Edward.
Um,
Edward Everest.
it doesn't actually say who gave it its name. It was named after Sir George Everest, but
Oh, I see. But someone
he
else
had,
come
yeah.
along and said,
George
"I'm going to
Everest had
call it after him."
nothing to do with it. They
What a
just
dick!
named it after him.
What a dick!
I
Like
know.
I'm going to call it after that guy. You just call it after yourself, surely. You just go, "Oh, that I'm
Uh,
going to call it my mountain."
So something most people learn in school. Edmund Hillary was the first to reach the peak in 1953.
No,
I always
I
thought.
didn't. I didn't know. I thought that was the guy that got to the North Pole.
I
Am I
think he
wrong?
did. I think he did. I think he did go to the
I,
North Pole as well.
sorry, I've not read the notes here.
I'm not sure he was the first guy to go to the North Pole. I know Edmund Hillary went to the North
Wasn't
Pole.
wasn't like because he was like a great explorer, wasn't he, back in the
Yes, he
day?
was.
And
Yeah,
like, and he did all these amazing feats, and
he
put
was an
flags and stuff. And
ex-military guy, built like a machine apparently. Um, but
that sounds
no
pretty.
one ever remembers the guy that was actually with him because he wasn't on his own.
Was that Edward Everest or whatever his name was?
No, it was not. It was a man called Tenzing Norgay.
Who?
Tenzing Norgay, a Nepalese native that
Oh,
actually
really?
climbed it with him.
He's
But
probably done it like 100 times
oh
before.
yeah, it was his third
This
time that
British
afternoon.
guy just rocks up and says,
He's like, "Yeah, I'll show you."
"Yeah, yeah,
Um,
this way, mate."
yeah, up here. So couple of wee facts. How long do you think it takes to climb Mount Everest?
Uh,
Because I had a figure in my head.
yeah, probably like an
Um,
afternoon.
Afternoon.
Up, go up. There's probably a pub at the top. Have a
Yeah, and then
pint.
just get the tram back down.
Get one of those things. What they call the
Um,
cart back
but
down, and then you're laughing.
well, I knew they had camps. I knew that they camped. I
Yeah,
thought I had
at
a
the
figure of
bottom.
yeah, I had a figure of about a week. It actually takes 43 days.
To, shut, shut up.
43 days,
To
and
collect,
it's
actually get up to the actual peak.
26 from base camp. So
Joking.
obviously that's 17 days to get to base camp.
Hang on. What? So it takes you 17 days to get to the actual bottom of the
Yeah,
mountain,
to get to the bottom.
and then it takes you another 30, 40 days to get up.
Another 26 days to climb
26
to the
days
top.
to get to the top.
Yep.
That's amazing, man. That's man.
So you
That's
imagine
man.
you're not only climbing the highest mountain in the world, you're taking a month's worth of food and drink with you on your back,
That's man. Like, because I always
along
imagine
with your
like it's
tent.
kind of like you just rock up and go, all right, here we go. Like
Uh huh.
Snowdonia.
Yeah, Snowdonia, you can do that, and you're in the pub for 3 o'clock to watch the football, aren't you?
I'm sure
Um,
they've got a pub at the top of there. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
I think they have. They've got a. I mean, they've certainly got a visitor centre where you can buy a magnet and a rubber
A
or
what?
something.
A magnet.
A razor rubber. Um,
What? What? Hang on. Whoa. What? Why would you want a
fridge
magnet?
fridge magnet.
Oh, like I conquered
Yeah,
Snowdonia.
I conquered Snowdonia and got back in time to watch the football.
you,
Um,
you doubt you'd want that privilege, though. To be honest.
so another fact that you kind of think that Mount Everest is this like incredible feat, but apparently it's up to 800 people per year actually climb Mount Everest.
Right, so it's a piece of piss then, basically.
Yeah, but it has got a death
Anyone
rate
can do it.
of 1%, so eight of
One
them don't.
percent.
Eight of them don't make it.
Well, it's their fault, isn't it?
Um,
Losers.
and the most interesting facts that I actually discovered were the deaths on Everest. And I was looking at the facts. Ascending in summit bid, so that's the people doing the last bit trying to get to the summit from the last camp, is 20.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't catch that. So
So
what? There's been
out
200 deaths
250 roughly
since what? Since when have you got that?
forever
No,
since the start.
no. What? Yeah, since records began, I suppose. Yeah,
Since records began, yeah. I mean, that doesn't include probably people in the 1800s and stuff.
and all the,
Um,
the, the natives running up and down like it's
yeah,
you know a
that's it.
holiday
Yeah,
for them.
nipping up to get some snow. So
Everyone needs to
ascending.
know.
Everyone needs snow. Yeah, best snow up there. Ascending in the summit bid is 20. So that's the last little bit getting up. 20 people have died, which I would have thought
All
would
right,
be
so like the final peak
the
bit.
final bit. Yeah, the last 800 meters. Um,
The last
descending.
800. Oh, imagine how gutted you'd be.
I know. You
Like,
can see it.
you're literally there. Like,
Um,
how many people was that? How many people died
that
there?
that would be what 42 days into your 43-day journey.
Yeah, like, oh, just one more push. Like, come
I
on,
know.
mate. And how many people was that again? Sorry,
20. But
20 people. Oh, devastating.
coming back down from the summit to the last camp is 90.
Oh, I mean, is that
So the,
worse?
the majority have actually died coming back down than going up.
Oh, that's devastating, isn't it?
I
That'd
know.
be. I think that'd be like, yeah, I've done it. That's not paying attention. That's
Yeah.
what that is. You'd be like,
You
yeah,
see,
I've done it. And then you
the
just
thing is,
sprint back down, and then you just misstep, and then you're rolling dead.
if you didn't make it and you died, you'd be all right with that because you'd be dead. So people wouldn't really know that you didn't make it. But if you
if you
do
made
it,
it.
you want to tell all your mates, and then you die before you get a chance to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's
You
like
don't get
because
the glory, do
no one
you?
would believe it. Like, oh, he died on
No.
Mount Everest. Did he make it? I don't know.
Well, that's it. Was he going up or coming down? I don't know.
So you just assume that they didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Now, here's an interesting fact. It says here that 120 people died during route preparation.
Is that getting to the base camp? Is
I
that
don't
what's that?
know.
That's
I mean,
probably like cooking, like firing up the barbecue.
that could have
Just
been
exploded
someone,
in their face.
yeah, someone sitting in their house in California preparing their route for Everest and they have a heart attack. Is
Yeah,
that, I mean,
maybe.
is that in
Or
the
like
figures?
plane crash on the way there or something.
That's a
Crash
bit
into
like,
the side of Everest.
that's like when COVID started claiming assists, wasn't it? You know,
What? What?
the death figures of COVID when they started claiming assists.
Assists?
Assists, yeah.
That heard of that. It's not a
People
football
on
match,
people
mate.
on their deathbed with cancer and then like they get COVID and die.
Assisted by COVID.
And it went down as
Push
a
you over
COVID figure, but it, it definitely wasn't.
push you over the edge. Assisted by COVID. Nice one.
Yeah. So that's the kind of the interesting facts and figures. So James, I've got a couple of stories here I want to present to you about Everest. That I think might be interesting to you. So, first one I came across was apparently there's a part of Mount Everest that is called Rainbow Valley. And Rainbow Valley is a section of the peak that's so filled with dead bodies of climbers who perished whilst climbing on the peak,
No.
that all their colourful clothes stand out in amongst the grey and
No,
white of the snow.
that's horrific.
And it's
Rainbow.
not
It's such a happy name as well. Like,
now
Rainbow Valley, dead people.
it's Rainbow Valley, but it is actually in the death zone. The death zone is the last 800 meters, which is known.
Oh, is that the bit we talked
The
about?
Yes, the last 800 meters where 20 people die going up, 90 people die coming down,
Oh my
and
god.
it's death zone. Obviously, sounds a bit harsh,
So
so they've called it Rainbow Valley.
Rainbow.
With all the,
What? So did they just leave the people there? I
well,
guess.
they have to, yeah. Apparently, if some of them die quite close to the path, other climbers will give them a bit of dignity by lifting them and chucking them down the side so that they're not in the way.
Oh, what? That
Cover them with some snow,
dignity.
dignity. Yeah,
That's dignity.
yeah. Have you seen the
Oh,
Simpsons episode where Homer slides down the side of the mountain on the dead guy when he climbs
I can't remember that one. I remember the one where he like goes
the
down
power
the.
source bars and he decides to climb the highest mountain in Springfield and he finds the dead guy frozen at the top and uses him as a
Is that one of
sledge.
the newest ones? Because like they
It's
went
quite old,
downhill like season 5 was it or something like that.
something like that. Yeah,
I remember the one where like he goes on the skateboard and then
yeah.
goes down the ridge. But yeah, I can't.
Jump in the gorge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember the one where he climbs
Um,
the mountain.
yeah, so apparently, people, yeah, they just give them a little nudge off the side, so that they're not in the way.
Nudge it.
And
Here's a
that's,
bit of dignity for you. See you later.
I mean, that's something you got to think. I mean, a lot of these people, some of them would have families and friends and stuff, and that their body's just up there, a big frozen ice cube, just lying
Oh,
there forever.
it's
Never,
horrific.
you just. I mean, another story that I'll bring into this story is obviously there's a chap called Green Boots Guy.
I
That
think I've heard
is
about this guy.
Yeah, so Green Boots Guy, he died, they think, in the Everest disaster in 1996, and he was discovered in 2001, where a bit of snow
Hang
had
on.
obviously.
Hang on.
Oh.
What's the Everest disaster?
The Everest disaster, it was the storm on Everest. They made a movie about it. Have you seen the movie Everest?
Was what's his face in it? Sylvester Stallone.
No, I don't
So
think so.
he was in one with a fucking big hill there, wasn't
I think so, yeah.
he? Yeah, what was that called? I'll have to
He,
look it up.
he was in Demolition Man.
I don't think it was that.
The
Yeah.
Everest disaster, where there was a load of climbers. They didn't think a storm was coming. A storm came and blew them off the edge.
To put it like bluntly,
Yeah,
there's no storm coming here. Oh
yeah.
shit, there is.
So yeah, the storm turned up. I think it was one of these things when it's a bit like the space missions. They'd spent that long getting to that final camp that they were like, you know,
So is this
there
like in
might
the
be a
early
storm.
days? Is this in the early days of Everest
This was
climbing?
1996.
All right, so it's kind of like been established. It's
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and then they kind
yeah.
of just miscalculated the weather.
They miscalculated. But like I said, I think it was one of those things where you've got that far. If you turn back, you might never do it again. You think there might be a storm. Let's take the chance. Let's just run up, plonk a flag in, run back down, and we'll be sound. But
Plonk a, plonk a
this,
flag in. I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? When you get so far
yeah,
up up the side of it, and I
you don't
suppose
want
if
to
the weather
approach.
if the weather turns like that, you just kind of go, oh, we'll just do it, or we'll just
That's
hunker
it.
down for an hour or two, and it'll pass.
Risk
And
your
then
life or go home and tell everyone
yeah,
you didn't do it.
we just say
It's
you did because no one's going to. How can you just say you did?
I know I left my flag up there. Go and
Yeah,
have a look if
go
you
and
want.
check.
Yeah. So Green Boots guy, he died in this 1996 disaster. And he was discovered in 2001. Obviously, there was some wind or something, some snow moved, and his legs and green boots are sticking out. And he's in a prominent part. He's near the peak, and he's actually become like a checkpoint. People say, "Oh, if you pass Green Boots guy, yeah, once you get to Green Boots guy, turn left and keep walking up." And
It's only 800
uh,
meters.
yeah, so they it's only
Oh
800 meters.
shit!
Um,
This is the worst bit.
but Green Boots guy, what really puzzled me is it says that it's speculated that the body belongs to an Indian climber known as, now I apologise to Indians, Tiswang Pajur is my pronunciation of that. And
Can you
these
just say that again, just for the record?
Tiswang Pajur.
Thank you.
And they're saying that it's speculated that the body belongs to him because he did go missing in 1996. But
No,
I
hang on. I think you've said that wrong.
hmm?
You've made it sound like there's some living dude in India and this body belongs to him. Whereas
Shit, I left my body up there.
yeah, it's his body
Yeah,
basically.
it's his. Yeah, so it's his. It's speculated that it is his
Yeah.
body, and he is with the body. Um, and
Well,
but what I keep thinking is, how can they speculate that? Because someone must have looked at the color of his boots when he left that morning. I mean, surely they must know what he was wearing,
I don't know. Maybe it's just like a
unless all his
loner.
mates died with him.
Yeah, or maybe he changed his boots
Um,
halfway up, or who knows? Like,
yeah,
you
I
can't.
suppose you'd want different coloured boots, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want them all the same colour.
I wouldn't like to be named after the colour of my boots. To be
Green boots
honest,
guy, yeah.
yeah, just like shit boots, man. That would be me.
um,
Holy boot, man.
so that's the Rainbow Valley. That's the death zone.
That's
Um,
despicable.
it is, yeah, and that's why it makes me wonder. Like, is it these people doing that? They must know that that's a chance, and you're not going to be the first to do it. You're going to be the 10,000th to do it, and you're risking your life.
Yeah, I suppose you're
Um,
right. Like, it's not. Well, I don't know.
you risk
It
your
doesn't
life to be the
seem.
first.
Yeah, but there is there any firsts anymore? Because like this doesn't seem. It sounds ridiculous because it is a challenge. It must
Mhm.
be. Like you can't just rock up and go, "I'm going to climb that." Like you've got to put in years of training. They don't just accept anybody. As far as I'm aware, you have to apply for a permit,
£8,000 for the permit.
8 grand, right?
Eight
And then
grand
you've got to do all the training. And how much does the kit cost? That's another
costs
step.
between 30 and £100,000
To do the whole thing,
to
right?
climb Everest. Yeah.
Right. So it's not like it's a rich man's game, isn't it? So it's
Oh, it
not just
is.
something
Yeah.
you just rock up and do and like go, oh yeah, I'm going to climb this. It's not like just like Snowdonia or whatever.
No, you don't turn up with
Yeah,
your sprayway and your Rockports on.
yeah, like
You know,
did you bring your green boots with you?
yeah.
Type
Bottle of
thing.
Coke Zero in your pocket. You'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, let's go.
Um,
How long does it take, by the way? but yeah, so like, but then saying that though, like so many people must have reached the peak by now, and like I've seen pictures where there's literally queues of people.
oh,
You
it's
know,
rank. This is in my list of stories here. May the 22nd this year. it experienced its first traffic jam of around 200 mountaineers lined up.
200, man. That's
200
like
lined up to
that's
reach
two
the top
million quid in
peak,
it.
something like that. Yeah.
2 million pounds worth of
Apparently, the
people.
queue was longer than the most popular ride in Disney World. Um, and the climbers, the climbers stuck in the long queue that long, that several of them actually just died of exhaustion or
Oh,
just fell off the
several,
side.
several of them.
Several of them died. Yeah.
What were they called?
Um,
Blue boots, man.
yeah, just I don't know, rainbow
Stupid boots, man.
jacket guy and stuff. Um, but yeah,
That's
so there
crazy.
was actually a queue, and recently, well, the last couple of years, a load of the Sherpas, these guys from Nepal that just nip up and down as often, go
Yeah,
up a couple
yeah.
of times a
They
day.
know the short route. They're just like nipping up there, going, "All right,
um,
mate, I'll meet you
Apparently, the
this up."
Sherpas they carried 8 tons worth of rubbish off the mountain
You
because these guys that are climbing up, they're
It's
just
like nothing
they're eating their food
sacred,
and
like
chucking it. No, no,
it's,
I know.
it's like nothing sacred anymore. You just go, "Oh
Um,
yeah, I'll climb that. No
yeah.
worries. Here's 100 grand. Show
So
me
that's
up
the
there."
Mount Everest traffic jam. So that's you think you've spent maybe 100 grand, you've trained, and you think you're doing something special. You get there and there's 199 other guys in the queue in front of you
Yeah,
to take their
yeah.
picture.
It's
There's
mad. Because I remember like we were talking when before we sort of did this, and we were
yeah,
discussing like things like that, and you said to me, "Is it? Do you think it's easy or whatever, or do you think it's like a thing?"
yeah,
And clearly, it's not easy, but it does seem like anyone can kind of do it with a bit of
yeah. I
bit, a
think
bit, bit up and go. Like it's
there's
one
an
of those.
element of luck to it because some people deal with the oxygen better than others. You might have a very very fit guy that gets altitude sickness, and a guy
Yeah,
that's
I
less
guess
fit
so.
that deals with the altitude okay. So I think there's an element of luck involved in it as well. When you talk about the time to go up Mount Everest, you take Mount Fuji as an example, which you think that's another massive mountain. I watched an Idiot Abroad, and Carl Pilkington, who's not a trained climber, does that like overnight. And
Yeah,
Kilimanjaro, another huge famous mountain, you can do that in a couple of days.
that's it.
And
Like
Everest is
what
43 days.
43? Is that was that up and down, or is that just up?
Which one, Kilimanjaro or
Everest.
Everest? It, the fact I've got just says entire journey is
Oh, right.
43 days, 26 days from base camp.
So yeah, so it'd be
So I
up,
imagine that
up
is
and
up and
down.
down. Yeah,
So it's a month basically
it's a
to go
month. Yeah,
up and down this
yeah.
mountain, and like
Well, it's
I
a
just
month
don't think.
from base camp.
Yeah, yeah, and
26
I
days.
don't think you can really comprehend that, like
No.
in your mind, like, and it's not just like a walk; it's
Hmm.
freezing temperatures, lack of oxygen. You've got all this kit on you and all the rest of it.
The average temperatures at the summit are minus 30.
Yeah, I mean it's just amazing. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah. So my last wee story. Back in 1934. So this is obviously before Edmund Hillary had climbed to the top of Mount Everest, and no one had, obviously he was the first, so no one had really got near the peak.
Hmm.
Back in 1934, a British pilot named Maurice Wilson believed that a combination of fasting and praying was all he needed to get to the top of Everest.
How did that work out
Um,
for him?
well, his plan was to fly to the highest point and walk right up to the summit. But according to the
Easy.
BBC, he lacked any actual flying experience or climbing experience. After
Off.
Seb,
What a
after Seb,
chancer! What a chancer!
that's
Fair
something.
dues.
That conversation started in a pub, didn't it? I tell
Yeah,
you what, I know how to get there. I'll just fly up, just walk the last bit. I'm sure there'll be a runway near the top.
that is a proper
Um,
chancer. I like him.
After several bumbled treks to and from the base, George never returned. His body was found and buried in snow a year later.
You
That's,
can't laugh, but fair dues. Like he took a chance. It didn't
no,
work
you
out
can
for
laugh
him.
at that, surely. I mean
Like
that's a bet in a pub,
what?
that
What
isn't
was
it?
his motto? Faith and what? Faith
Uh,
and
Fasting and praying. Now,
fasting
I'm
and
not a
praying.
mountaineer, but surely a good meal for energy. I don't think fasting is the answer.
I'm going to use that in work.
I'm going to
Just you know,
starve myself and climb a
get in a
mountain.
difficult situation. Fasting
Yeah.
and praying is my only
Fasting
way
and
through
praying.
this.
So yeah, so that was, like I said, that was definitely, that started in a pub, that conversation. That's
Definitely.
fine. I'll fly most of the way up and just walk the rest
Fair play to him though.
on an empty stomach. I'll pray if I get
So,
stuck.
but he didn't make it though. He kind of just died.
He didn't make it, no.
But,
Um,
so did he? Hang on. So I know you probably don't know that much about it. Did he land his plane? Where did he land his plane?
it doesn't say. It just says his plan was to fly to the highest point and walk right up to the summit. But he lacked any actual flying experience or climbing experience. Maybe no one would give him a plane.
Yeah, it's just like
Um,
rocked up. Like, oh yeah,
and then it says after several bumbled treks to and from the base, George never returned. His body was
oh,
found
no.
buried in snow a year later.
So yeah, so he didn't even fly up there by the sounds of things. He just got to
No,
base
no.
camp and then took a day trip out, walked back, thought, no, this is too much. Took
Yeah,
another day
walked in a
trip out
couple of circles.
there, and then after the third day, just disappeared and fell off a ridge somewhere.
Walked up and down a couple of times, going, yeah, there's definitely not a runway up there. Don't think
He's
there
like,
is.
is that green boots, man? Hang on.
Yeah. So conclusions. Everest. Is Everest the most dangerous mountain in the world?
Are you asking me? Are
I'm
you?
asking you, yeah. I want to see what you think.
Well, I don't know. Like you've put a lot of work into this, and I do appreciate it. And it's been a fun journey, and it's been interesting. Um, but is it the most dangerous? Is it the most dangerous because a lot of people climb it, or because I've heard that K2 is quite dangerous.
It
That
is, I think K2 is slightly above Everest in the
yeah. I
actual
think
death
that
percentage.
there's more deaths on K2, the second most highest mountain in the world. And if I remember, there was a famous British climber. In fact, I can't remember her name now, but she did Everest and then she did K2, and she actually died on K2. So
You'd be gutted, wouldn't you?
yeah, well, but that's like a professional climber, isn't it? It's not just a
Well, yeah.
tourist. It's like somebody who does it for a
I can
living.
appreciate professional climbers doing it, though, because it's a passion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. Is it the most dangerous mountain? I don't know, man. I'm going to have to sit on the fence on this one, to be honest.
Well, my thoughts is that, it's sort of fifth on the list of the most dangerous with death percentage, but because it's the highest, it attracts people to go and climb it.
Yeah, so that makes it less dangerous, surely, because more people climb it. You'd think there'd be more deaths. See
Well,
what I mean?
yeah,
So, like,
I
because
suppose so. Yeah,
so by that logic, I would say this probably isn't the most dangerous mountain.
but let's say you had three electric fences, and two of them had barbed wire on, and they had like 40,000 volts running through them, and one of them had only 10,000 volts on it, but it was covered in nice fluffy stuff that you would think, well, that one looks nicer to touch. The other ones are technically more dangerous, but more people would touch the fluffy one and maybe die, so that would make it more
I don't
dangerous.
even know where you're going with this analogy.
I know I'm cutting that out definitely.
That doesn't fit into my head at all. All I'm saying is, more people climb Everest, right? So by that logic, there should be. If it was the most dangerous, there should be more deaths. So, in my opinion, I don't consider this mountain to be the most dangerous,
Right,
and
okay,
that's my conclusion.
okay.
How about
But
you?
I think it. I see what you're saying, yeah, because I suppose the other mountains, Everest has got a set path because so many people follow the path. So when you go up there, there's already ropes that have been set up and stuff, and people know where they're going. I suppose the
Yeah,
other mountains, a lot
there's
less
a
people climb
trodden
them.
path. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that doesn't make it any less dangerous, I suppose. But
Hmm.
um, I just think that, like I say,
There was a bit called Hillary's Step, that
I've met
was a
her.
famous ice face that you had to climb up towards the peak.
All right.
And that was a really dangerous bit because you had to literally, with ice picks, climb up that. But it fell off, so it's not there anymore. So you don't
So,
need to.
So what is
So
it? Just like it's
there's
like
an
a
easier
bridge.
route. It was
It's like
like, yeah, it was just a big like ice face, but that fell off. So there's like a path now.
right.
So I
Yeah.
suppose it has got easier. And like I said, that people have set up ropes and stuff like that. People have a path. People will communicate better. Whereas like Annapurna and K2, if there's less people going up and down it, then you might not know the route. You might have to come up with your own route. So yeah, I suppose I must agree with you. It's maybe not the most dangerous in the world.
Okay. So we're coming to the conclusion
Undefeated on
now.
that one.
You're defeated. So
Undefeated on that
it's a
one.
double no. We're saying it's
Double
not the
no.
most
Yeah,
dangerous. All
yeah.
right.
I'd say it's still pretty dangerous though. It's not somewhere I'm going to be trying to climb.
Piece of piss. Right. Okay. I think that's it. I think we're done. This is
Yeah,
the first episode of The Most Dangerous. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
yeah. Tune in. We'll
Um,
have another episode coming soon.
coming soon, absolutely. Fraser, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
And my
Speak to you
name's
soon.
James. Take care.
Take care.